Shalom Aleichem and welcome to Mohel online smicha. A person gets a mazel tov, noilad loy ben zachar. So he does all the preparations for the bris milah, and then he's looking to choose a mohel. Who is the most preferable mohel to choose? So obviously we all know the story of with the Tzemach Tzedek, that he was asked, a person has a choice of mohelim. One who is a big chassid and knows all the kavanas, and the other, yet his hand may be a little shaky or he's not that quick. And there's another one who does the job better, but he might not know, he's not that learned. And the question is, who should be chosen? And Tzemach Tzedek says, in this concerning this point of bris milah, you take the professional, you take the one who does it best. Obviously, we're talking about where there are different people who are able to do it, whoever are able to fulfill the mitzvah of milah professionally. Is there a seder who comes first? So really, if the father knew what he was doing, being that the father is the one that has the chiyuv on fulfilling this mitzvah, the father should really do it and shouldn't give it away to anybody else. But because most of the people themselves don't know it, don't know how to do it, they haven't trained, so they look for others to do it. So it's brought in Paiskim. The Maril says, and the Ramah brings this in Simon Reish Samach Dalid, that when you're looking for a mohel, you look for a mohel hayoser toiv tzaddik, who's best and who's a righteous person. And the reason why you need a tzaddik, something special to be a mohel, because as it's brought, yavai tahar v'yitapel im tahar. Here we have a pure newborn child. So let a pure person deal with the issues of a pure person. The Levush gives another reason. So the person who is fulfilling the mitzvah of bris milah should be mechavein the proper kavanas that are needed to bring down whatever hamshachas you need during the bris milah. However, in other svarim it's brought. Hold on, it's well known the medrash that Eliyahu Hanavi comes to every bris. And Eliyahu Hanavi says, I'm not going into a room where there are Rishayim. So by the presence of him coming to the bris, Hashem guaranteed him that he'll forgive everybody present at the bris. So if you're looking for a tzaddik to do the bris milah, guess what? Everybody in the room at that moment is a tzaddik, because that was the guarantee Hashem gave to Eliyahu Hanavi that you'll be able to attend the bris, because despite the fact that Eliyahu is very zealous, and he's a mekaneus kinasi, but there won't be any issues there, because everybody would be a tzaddik. So anybody in the room, there is no one better than the other. That's the discussion when you're choosing a mohel, who to choose. And the Urza Ruah says that it says in Medrash, him mohel, yim mohel, yavei tar v'yitapel imatar. All right, so you found yourself a mohel. Now there's a discussion in Achronim. What happens if you already called one mohel and you already agreed with this person to be the mohel, and then later you found somebody else that you want better for whatever reason? Could you change your mind? Is that fair? And most of the cases, once you already agree with one mohel, you can't change your mind. However, if the person who you found was the well-known expert or tzaddik, and the only reason you agreed originally with the other mohel because that person wasn't available, when he became available, some say then that was already understood in the commitment. So that would be the only case where a father would be able to break his commitment and say, Mister, you know that I only agreed with you because the grand chief rabbi wasn't available. But if he comes available, there's nothing. I don't mean it personally. That's perhaps the only case where you're allowed to take it to somebody else. Which leads to the next discussion. Do you pay the mohel? Now, obviously, you're going to say, why not? He does a job. It's a work. But it's a mitzvah. So this is actually a discussion in Achronim. And the Aruch HaShulchan says in Yeridei Siman Reish Samach Aleph, I heard of a city, a large city of Jewish people, that were many Yidden there, and very few mohelim. Why were very few people became mohelim? Because they say you can't have a job. they need to have a parnasa. If nobody pays them, they won't have a parnasa. So therefore, he suggests that the leaders of the community should make sure there are some people who become experts in the talent of Mohel, and those people should not have any other parnasa, just this, and people should pay them. And the Yismach Moshe says, obviously by paying a Mohel there's a benefit, because by paying the Mohel, it should have been the father himself doing it. But because he can't, he asked somebody else to do it. Asking somebody else and paying him is showing your involvement, your personal involvement in this, and that will be as if you did it. An interesting phenomena is if a person who's a Mohel could also be a sandik. Now, it really is an acrobatic act to be able to hold the baby and do the bris milah. And there were some who actually said, the Pri Megadim in Erechaim Siman Tov Kuf Pei Hey writes that Toifei Satinik, the one who holds the child, it's impossible for him to do the bris milah for a different reason. Because when you make the bracha on the bris, you have to stand. He can't stand and then do the bris. So it's not the common thing. It's not right, according to the Pri Megadim, for the Mohel also to be the sandik. However, the Maram Shik, we know Rabbi Akiva Eger was a Mohel and a sandik. We know the Minchas Elazar was a Mohel and a sandik. They say there's no problem with this, and all the issues of standing while you make a bracha is not ma'akiv. So, as I mentioned before, there were many great Torah scholars who were not only scholars, but they were Mohelim, and they took the kibudim of Mohel and sandik, and they did the job simultaneously.